And Larry, I got a couple for you next. One player that you're definitely familiar with, and Seth Jarvis going to the Carolina Hurricanes, and then we'll talk about the Oilers after that. So just Carolina just seems, the Patrick Marleau deal turns into a guy that I think has some really fun, creative, high offensive upside. So just how good does Carolina have in your mind, especially being able to add Jarvis into the fold?
Yeah, you're teeing me up with another draft winner, in my opinion, in the Carolina Hurricanes. Minnesota had a great draft, and I think Carolina might have had the best draft overall. But I look at Seth Jarvis as a guy who really does drive play from the wing. He's kind of got the Mitch Marner type ability to drive play off the wing. Smaller guy, but a real offensive catalyst, and really exploded in the second half of the season for Portland. But certainly he plays with a lot of pace. He's an up-tempo guy, and I think Carolina could use a little bit of that. So I think they definitely took the best player available at that spot. And I know there were a lot of Edmonton fans had Jarvis on their short list going into the draft, and were disappointed to see him get scooped up one pick ahead of the Oilers. But certainly Seth Jarvis is going to be an offensive catalyst in the years to come for Carolina, and should be a good fit somewhere in their top six.
Yeah, and speaking of the Oilers, right next door, because Jarvis went, they end up going with Dylan Holloway. Just what kind of a fit is that for the Oilers, and do you feel like that they made the right pick there?
Yeah, that was I think they picked a guy that they really feel is a good fit for the team. Again, I think not necessarily drafting by position, but just a guy that they think fits. They want a little more size up front, a guy who can. He's fast. I mean, he's one of the faster players in the draft, straight line speed. He's physical, and he's got a decent shot. He can finish. And I think maybe they see him, it sounds like they see him maybe more as a winger than a center. So he can be sort of that third line center, or possibly a top six winger. So it'll be interesting to see where they slot him, but certainly somebody they would have seen a lot of the previous season when he was developing in the AJHL and a dominant force for the Okotoks Oilers. And it was interesting that their top two picks were both developed in the AJHL, with the hometown kid Carter Savoy going, I guess, at number 100. But yeah, so they got the two top guys from AJHL developed guys, but certainly Holloway, I think, is a guy that they could see on the wing in the top six. But as a fallback option, he's a very solid third line center down the road, quite a projectable player.